Welcome to the Hobby Movie, the Cycle World Last Valerian back again. And today we're going to be reacting to whatever it is they got cooking over at there, at the good old Sega Studios or whatever it is. Now, I'm going to be putting this thing on the fastest speed, as you can probably tell, and whenever it gets done,
Very soon, right here on stage, we will present the battle gameplay for the brand new game.
just a second, whenever they get done with, if they ever like showing like gameplay or anything like that, we're going to slow it down to the gameplay parts. But for this right here, we're going to have it,
series, the new Virtua Fighter project.
On 2x speed,
in detail.
because I have a couple Resident Evil games to get to today.
So feel free to take pictures or videos.
Or record on stream.
You can take position closer to the stage if you want, closer to the cameraman.
Okay, good. Make sure that I can't really get any closer than this, guys. Yeah. Hold on a second.
So anybody that has a camera, feel free to take pictures or videos. And don't forget to use the hashtag SegaAtlasTGS2025 and share your posts.
TGS 2025. Post it up on social media everywhere we'd like to be. Let's have a good time, folks.
Okay, well, considering we're going to skip ahead here, let's skip ahead and get to the show because we apparently have a few seconds. Here we go. Cool. Oh, yeah. Finally.
Get over here and check it out.
Let's freaking do it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Sega Atlas booth at the 2025 Tokyo Game Show. We will now be presenting the combat gameplay system for the new Virtua Fighter project, which is gradually revealing all that it has to offer. On this stage, we will thoroughly unpack and explain the details of the combat gameplay first look, which debuted at Las Vegas in August. I'll be hosting today's event. My name is Ayaka Uchioka. Nice to meet you all. All right, now let's welcome today's panelists onto the stage. First, we have Yamada-san, who is the producer of the new Virtua Fighter project. Next, we have the battle director, Takeda-san, and our guest, top fighting game player and reject pro gamer, Togito-san.
Top reject pro gamer.
Let's go. We have a lot of people watching us here, so let's do this first round of introductions. I am Yamada. I am the producer for the new Virtua Fighter project.
Right on.
Usually I have glasses on, but I actually forgot my glasses today. So
here, you are mine.
Definitely me, Yamada. And next we have Takeda-san.
Oh shit, I
the
forgot.
battle director,
Once again, I need to get my phone out.
I'd like to introduce myself very briefly, because people are curious about who I am. I've been at Sega for many years.
Check to see if anybody's
I was in the sound section when I joined the company.
watching, so that's going on here.
And that's about 25 years ago. And we were building Virtua Fighter 4 at AM2. I wanted to build Virtua Fighter myself, so I joined the Virtua Fighter team at that time. And that's actually how I've connected to the Virtua Fighter team historically. And now I'm working on programming, and I worked on Virtua Fighter 4 and 5 as a programmer.
Okay.
Nice to meet you all. Next we have Togito-san. I'm sure you have some expectations for the stage today. Hi everybody, I'm Togito. Great to meet you. I think you'll know that I've been a 2D fighting game player for many years. But originally, Virtua Fighter 2 was one of the games that got me into fighting games back in elementary school. And so it's a true honor to be on the stage here today to talk about Virtua Fighter.
Yeah.
So generation-wise, you're the Virtua Fighter generation, right? Yes, actually. When I was in the game centers when I was younger, yeah, I was definitely playing Virtua Fighter there. I was using Leon and other characters as well. I'm sure you're looking for the new information we'll have on the stage today. So we're going to go into the battle scenes, talk about that. So I think we have a lot of people anticipating that. So can we hear a little bit more about your involvement or your experience with the Virtua Fighter series in the past? Give us a little bit more details on that. Actually, the impetus for me to get into fighting games so much was Virtua Fighter, actually. And I played that just kind of lightly, but I was playing against the CPU. And then when I went back to my hometown, and then there was an offer to play some Virtua Fighter with a friend. And I was really surprised that there's people that are dedicated to playing fighting games. And that was the first opportunity to see that was actually Virtua Fighter at the time. And then the next time I met up with him, I wanted to challenge him, and that was about a half year later, so I practiced really hard. And then I wanted to take him out, and that's where everything started. Yeah. And now hearing about a totally new series, I'm very much looking forward to that. I was watching Togito's YouTube, and he was talking about your 10 years early, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about that on the stage today. So I think Togito-san's really excited about today. So we definitely like to hear the viewpoint from a programmer on the title. And we'd also like to get into the details of the battle system with Togito-san here today.
Hopefully the battle system does not have any like stupid mechanics like fucking Rage Art or Fatal Blow or any like supers with visibility frames.
Project from the development team. Let's ask Yamada-san.
I just want to throw hands, bro.
Game development is always very difficult, but with this game, we've got a lot of experienced people on the team, and we're trying to make something that's really top class. There's a lot of different challenges that we're facing at the moment, but the team is really motivated to make something that's very high quality, and that really helps me. But it is a pretty stressful situation, and there's a lot of things that we have to do. But I'm very thankful to the team that they're still motivated and they're keeping their motivation up to take this challenge on.
Yeah, I remember them the previous one they were talking about earlier this year, talking about realism, trying to hammer home the point of realism. So hopefully realism happens in this game.
But there are a lot of thoughts that are stacked up in the team that they want to express with this new game. Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen with game development. I think it can be very stressful. So what was the reaction to the combat gameplay first look that was announced at EVO Las Vegas in August of this year? So we got a big reaction to that, and I'm really glad that we were able to make it. And everything from the overseas players in particular was very strong. And then previously with the Virtua Fighter series, the classic installments, it was very arcade focused. So definitely like the Japanese audience is more rooted in the arcades. So there's a lot of Japanese users playing Virtua Fighter. But with this combat gameplay first look trailer, it really reached a lot of players overseas. We were happy to see so many comments coming in from there.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed what I saw.
Also, one thing I want to say from Yamasa's perspective is that the PS2 installment of Virtua Fighter sold really well worldwide. So I at the time had the impression it was a really worldwide IP. And myself, speaking Tokyo-san, and then when I was playing tournaments overseas for Virtua Fighter, at the time, there were a lot of players that wanted to just basically go win that tournament money in the Virtua Fighter tournaments that were being held overseas. But I was surprised that there were dedicated players for those tournaments. I think there's a fan base that does like Virtua Fighter overseas, so it was gratifying to see the reactions coming in from them. So information about the new Virtua Fighter is gradually coming to light. Tokyo-san, could you share your honest first impressions of the new Virtua Fighter? It was the first footage was very shocking to me, and seeing that Akira's drastically changed appearance really made me curious about what happened to him up until that point.
He's become a grizzled detective, that's what he is.
The battle footage is kind of packed with intriguing details. Like we can see the camera switching back and forth. And also the new battle video that we saw at EVO.
I feel like Akira has lost his memory, and now he's trying to figure out who he was. That's what it is. He's a grizzled veteran trying to figure out who he was. That's what it is. A grizzled detective.
When we were making the concept video, we weren't actually planning to reveal it or bring it to the broader world. So as we were making it, that plan was decided internally. But when we thought about actually how we have to bring that into gameplay, there was a lot to think about and a lot to go through in terms of the battle system. And we had to do some trial and error, but I think with that video we've shown like a package that has resulted from those considerations. Right, so I'm sure many of the people gathered here are looking forward to hearing more details about the battle video. I'll stick to hosting duties, so I'll leave a deep dive into the battle to everyone on stage here.
Keep talking about the battle system and everything. He's like, we're gonna keep showing it. Don't worry, we're gonna show it. You know,
before we get into the new Virtua Fighter project battle commentary,
it's like fucking what's his name?
Right?
Kanye West. Don't worry, I'm gonna let you finish.
So this is about the battle system. So I want to talk about the battle system. This title offers two battle modes.
Totally.
Standard battle mode, which we'll introduce shortly. You have to deplete your opponent's life gauge or get a ring out to win the round. And the other is a completely new battle mode called Uprising. This is a new battle rule set entirely distinct from standard. Its core concept is momentum shifting. It's not a mere extra mode, but intended to stand alongside the standard mode. Wow, that's quite a shocking announcement right off the bat. Tokyo-san, what do you think? Well, this is surprising. They're preparing battles that could overturn everything we know about Virtua Fighter. I think there's some elements here that are really going to overturn those core classic Virtua Fighter elements. There's a lot of history to fighting game battle rules, and I'd like to make something new within that. We want to pursue the fun in the gameplay, so that's why we decided to make some different battle rule modes here.
All right.
We can't reveal the details just yet, but once we're sure that it's really fun, then we'll talk about it more.
All right,
We're
cool.
doing some R&D on it right now. I can't wait to see more on these battle modes. But before that, Yamada-san told me that you wanted to go back to the first look. So this video is already out there, but let's take another look through that combat gameplay first look video that we released at EVO.
Okay.
Let's take a look at that before we get to any questions.
I've already seen this, so
Can
just
you
kind of
show
like,
the video?
I'll let it play. I'll let it play at full speed right now. But yeah, I watched just a little bit of this earlier just to kind of like do a sound test for this. But yeah, a few things that I noticed. A couple of things from Sarah, because I've been trying to play Sarah, pretty much maining Sarah in the game. Like, there were a few things I noticed that she does that seems to be classic, or plenty of things seem to be classic. I forget exactly what it was. It's going so fast, I can't really keep up with it, unfortunately, but it just seemed fine, though. It seems really good. I do love what we're seeing there.
Out to you, Tokyo-san? This is really Virtua Fighter. That's how I felt about it. There's different
That's what it looked
coming in. You can see Akira getting finished at the end of the round. That was very fresh for me. Okay, let me talk a little bit about the battle system in detail. Let's play the footage back for you in slow motion.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look. So I'm going to stop the video when I want to ask you questions. Is that okay? Going in slow motion. Let's take a look at it in very slow motion. Okay, first, look at the stage. This is a training stage, correct? I don't think I've seen a training stage this cool in fighting game history. So I feel like you guys are putting a lot of attention to that. So Virtua Fighter in the classic style has ring outs, etc. And we wanted to express that in a training stage. And that's why you can see the floor coming up, like morphing in the video. And in Virtua Fighter, you remember like walls and all these different elements that come in on the stages. But with this installment, we wanted to show you everything in the training mode in terms of how the stages could potentially evolve. So there's elements of the stage that get me very interested. With Virtua Fighter stages, it's not just gimmicks. There's also like the landscape of a stage. Yeah, and then there was like differences in height in certain stages previously. All right, let's move on to the next point here. I think we get a lot of questions about who this character is. This is where it gets interesting. I don't really have the chance to look at it in slow motion. Oh, got a question. So this head spring sort of movement, it looks like there's a close-up happening here. Can you tell me a little about this? So Stella's is trying to attack the down opponent, and then it looks like Akita is springing up to avoid that kick, to avoid the roundhouse. So you can see that there's a system in there to avoid the attacks, and that is being conscious of offensive and defensive opportunities when down opponents are getting out.
Stella? I mean, that's Sarah, right? Hold on a minute. Let's go back here. Slow it down.
And then, can you tell me a little about this? So Stella's is trying to attack the downed opponent.
Maybe the guy just messed up on her name. I have no idea.
Akita is springing up to avoid that kick.
That's not what I knew.
To avoid the roundhouse. So you can see that there's a system in there to avoid the attacks, and that is being conscious of offensive and defensive opportunities when down opponents are getting up. We're trying to provide a stylish, action-oriented element here. So it's not just animations like this. There's going to be other animations for the other characters, etc. Yes, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Let's keep going. Okay, this question here. So there's some sway happening here. How are they managing to do this? There's a slow motion effect happening here. So this is when you read your opponent's move and you're dodging the attack.
Okay.
You can also catch the punch. And this is how we implemented it, like with the dodge approach here. In real fighting in real life, there's a moment where you dodge something and you counterattack immediately afterwards. We wanted to put that into the game here with this installment. So I've been to some boxing matches recently, and you kind of measure the range to the opponent's attacks, and then you use that to dodge and then counterattack from there. So we want to have that flavor here in the battle, and that's something we're focusing on. But there will probably be adjustments made to it as we go forward. But we want something that has a realistic approach to it, but that's also built into gameplay that's fun. So there's definitely some realistic elements that's included here. So you can see the dodge that happens, and in real fighting, you dodge, and then you make a move from there. So we definitely want to include that in the gameplay and make that a core element of the gameplay system going forward. I think it's really awesome with the reality. It's very cool looking. All right, let's go on to the next.
Does look pretty cool.
Now let me ask about this. Just rewind a little bit. A little bit further. Okay. Just a little bit further. Let's go a little bit slower. Right here. So the dodging here. Compared to classic Virtua Fighter, it seems to have more realism. It looks like he's actively dodging or crouching there. In real fighting, you actually have to dodge the opponent's kick and crouch very low to do that. So we wanted to place emphasis on the reality here and added that into the crouch with more realism.
Okay,
This is
so
one part of the defensive system. And when the opponent comes into attack, we want to have a realistic reaction to that, including the crouching that you're seeing here. We want to have a smooth approach there, but also very realistic. And if we could take that action and then have a return or a merit that the defender gets from it, that would be great as well. Yeah, so even the crouching, we want to make it realistic crouching. So depending on the attack that's coming in from the opponent, maybe you just have to crouch a little bit, maybe you have to crouch very low. But actually in real fighting, of course, people don't really crouch that much. But in the game, that portion, that part is a fun game element. So you want to have an animation in there that shows that you're protecting from low attacks. So that's how we wound up with this crouching animation you see here. So let's go on to the next portion of the video. All right, question here. So there's a 3-stage attack that's being parried here by Akita. Is that a new defensive technique or something more? This is a new defensive method that we've implemented for the game. We're calling flow guard.
Flow guard. All right.
It's different from guarding. We wanted to have that deflection part of the guarding included in the game system. So there's going to be a benefit to using this flow guard system and deflecting the opponent's attacks. And you should know that there's a benefit to doing it. It provides an advantage to the defender.
Okay.
And it's a new guard system that the players can take advantage. And when you think about pursuing realism within the game, but then you also have to link that into the balance aspect of the defensive system, that sounds really, really hard to make. It has to do with a lot of the new Virtua Fighter detailed systems, so it can be very stressful or fretful as a developer. But we have to make that as cool as possible and make that true to the Virtua Fighter series. And that involves a lot of stress and fretfulness on the development team side. But yeah, looks amazing just looking at it. All right, let's go on to the next part of the video. Okay, next question. So I'm seeing an effect on Stella's face here.
So I guess it is
So you see more
Stella
effects
and
coming on Stella's
not
face directly
Sarah.
after this. Let's watch a little bit more. Okay, let's stop here. Keep going. A little bit more.
Unless maybe it's Stella in Japan, I assume.
So this
Maybe.
is break and rush, a system that we've introduced in this game. And there are damage that accumulates in parts of the body. And when there's a certain amount of damage that accumulates to that part of the body, you go into a break state. And that's the system that we're putting into this new title. And that's what you see here. The body, legs, head, 3 different parts of the body, which damage accumulates to. The Virtua Fighter is, of course, a fun game. But with 2D games, if you look at it, you save up on your gauge and use that for supers, etc. Virtua Fighter didn't have that. And so I think that players think what should I do in this game? We wanted to give them a really easy to understand chance that they can take advantage of.
So basically, another hand-holding mechanic that I fucking hate and I don't want in games.
Portion of the body-based damage system, which we're calling break and rush. And this is also a source of damage.
I'm a little worried
So
about
that
that.
damage doesn't go away in the next round, so that damage stays between rounds. So the damage, the player manages to hold out against it, but the damage is accumulating, so it gets more strategically easy to break an opponent as the rounds go by. So you can see. So it's really important to utilize the flow guard with the break and rush system in order to gain an advantage against your opponent. Thank you so much. Let's keep going.
All right.
Okay, now we're knocking Stella down. There's a lot of speculation that Stella is an android. Wait, hold on, I got a question. It looks like it looks like Akira has been knocked into a state here. It's collapsing. Okay, right here. Starts from here. So we have a high angle upper kick. So then the combo continues from there, correct? We're calling this a stunner. And the combos are called stun combos. And this is a very important part of the battle system. So there were previously aerial combos in the Virtua Fighter series. And this is a combo that doesn't float the opponent. But you can connect the combo directly after it. So the combo system in the Virtua Fighter series, so you want to give a lot of damage to the opponent, correct? But you also, to do that, you have to float the opponent and juggle them. But I felt that was kind of difficult to understand as a player, because I came in from 2D fighting games.
But it's still in 2D fighting games,
in
though.
games, you jump in, you do a combo, and then you do a combo from there. But in VF, you didn't have that. So we wanted to give something new to connect a combo to. So overseas users typically refer to it as juggling. But with Virtua Fighter, reality is very important. So we wanted to have the ground-based combos connect to give it something that was a little bit more realistic. And when we thought about that, it led us to this concept which we're calling stunner. Then it would be very easy for the players playing to understand. And then we could also build that into the game system and have it balanced.
Kind of similar in a way to
It's really difficult to balance that realism and then also the in-game balance aspects as well.
similar to probably
That was
like Dead
something
or
we had to think
Alive,
about
I would
constantly
assume.
developing the game. How do we build this into the system? It's not that we want to create just real K1-based fighting, etc. It's a game. So we have to have some elements that are a little bit crazy, a little bit outlandish. So I'm not really into MMA myself. We wanted an entertainment aspect to it. But we also wanted a cool aspect that a person is actually playing it. And that's something we needed for Virtua Fighter. And one of the problems that was, with classic Virtua Fighter is a little bit difficult to understand. So there's so many deep systems within classic Virtua Fighter. And then also balancing those elements is the most challenging portion. And our image, the image that we're building this battle system to, is slowly coalescing with these elements that we're building. Thank you so much for your comments. All right, moving on to the next portion.
It looks like a
This
fur
kick
right
looks really cool,
there.
right? Also the throws looks cool as well.
And then, of course, the
Okay,
end.
question? What about this? I don't think there's anything to even ask here. You tell me. Yeah, so we're calling this signature cuts, and we wanted to provide some pain in the Virtua Fighter series, so that's something we haven't had up to this point. And you can see the close-up on the face and the damage expressions that we're showing here. And Taga-san was commenting on as well. With Virtua Fighter 1, I was playing it at the time, and the sound effects at the time, it felt like, at the time, that those sound effects, like, oh, I'm getting hit, it hurts. And that's something I didn't really feel in 2D fighting games. And that's one type of reality. So when you get finished by your opponent, I wanted to have that sense of pain included here. And I think that's also an element of Virtua Fighter, or a Virtua Fighter-esque element. And Virtua Fighter was always previously described as a somewhat plain fighting games. And we didn't want to put in super combos, we thought that was different from the series legacy. So we wanted some kind of finish to put in there at the end of the round. And we created all kinds of different variations for it. And we wanted that fun and that variation that you can see here. But it's also very easy to understand for the player that they're getting hit and getting knocked out, etc. And also the parts of the body that accumulate damage. These are parts that players can have fun with and say oh, I want to attack this part because it'll give me an advantage here. And that's why we call this portion a signature cut. And you can see the really flashy finish here. And of course, you're not just going to get kicked in the face every time, right? There's other kind of finishing moves. Yes.
Yeah, I had a feeling that there was going to be more types of
and we look
finishing
forward to
moves
different
there.
animations, and yes, it depends on how much the dev team can put the effort into it, but yes, we have to get through a lot of technical challenges there, but it's a new try for us. But Virtua Fighter has been around for 30 years, and we've got different technology that we've associated with it. But with the technology of today, there's things that we can show that we weren't able to do previously. But we're going to include these as these scenes, as KO scenes, using that technology. Thank you so much. And now we're getting towards the end. Thank you so much. Thank you for outlining the features of the battle system. It's extremely interesting to me. So let's keep going. Takeda-san, thank you for outlining the battle features. Can you give us a rundown of the new features of the battle system? Okay, I'd like to give you a breakdown here. Right, I'd like to focus on 3 systems. First, we have Flow Guard, as we just explained. This is a new defensive system designed for stylish movement, and it's connected to the part damage system. And comparing it to the previous system in Classic Virtua Fighter, there's a difference in the offensive and defensive aspects that are included. Now we have Break and Rush, and that involves damage accumulating on specific parts of the body, allowing them to be broken. Once broken, it creates an opportunity for the attacker, and damage to parts of the body persists across rounds. And that's one way you can include it in gameplay when you're playing. Moving on to the next. And now we have stunners and stun combos. This is a new combo system derived from stunner attacks, and it's designed to be intuitive for beginners while maintaining realistic movement. Now, traditional combos will still exist, but they'll be a little bit less common. And the stunners will be
A little less what?
This is a new combo system derived from stunner attacks, and it's designed to be intuitive for beginners while maintaining realistic movement. Now, traditional combos will still exist, but they'll be a little bit less common.
I literally cannot.
Stunners and
I'm going to have to slow it down. Hopefully we're making better time here.
stun combos. This is a new combo system derived from stunner attacks, and it's designed to be intuitive for beginners while maintaining realistic movement. Now, traditional combos will still exist, but they'll be a little bit less common.
A little less common. That kind of
And the
sucks.
stunners will be sort of like the main aspect of comboing in the game. And that will be the center of the gameplay battle system. Thanks for outlining the three.
I'm still worried about the
Next, we
one
want to
thing.
get
Like,
some questions that have been submitted in advance by players for the
oh,
development team. We got a lot of different questions.
the one thing worse because I refer to it as a hand-holding mechanic, and I don't really like stuff like that.
First question is-
And modern fighting games, you know.
It's a little long. I'm going to read it. With recent fighting games, many now offer simplified control schemes alongside traditional ones, allowing players to switch modes. Is there a possibility that Virtua Fighter could also incorporate a system that caters to both traditional players and newcomers? Personally, I'd like to see a mode where players can guard by pushing the stick backward, making it easier for players from other fighting games to enjoy VF. Okay, getting back to the first question. We want to make the controls as easy as possible. So, Virtua Fighter is a very easy game to play. There's only 3 buttons. It has a control stick, and that's why it was very popular in the arcades. But that's really easy to play in an arcade game cabinet. But when you're playing at home, it's a little bit different. Like, trying to move diagonally and stuff, that can be difficult when you're playing at home. So we want to update that. So we're going to build the gameplay system assuming pad usage. And that's something that we're thinking while we're developing it. That's the first thing I want to say. Now the second, holding back the guard. What do you think about that? Would that make you happy if that was in? But Virtua Fighter, I feel like has a guard button. But I think there's a lot of people that think this way. Other games have a lot of like holding back the guard. When you think about that, maybe it would be a good thing to have for players. But for fighting games, there's a lot of holding back the guard. I feel like there's other games that you actually have to hold guard to, to block, maybe not fighting against necessarily. So we want to have as many people playing the game as possible, so maybe having it as an option there is a possibility in the future. Yeah, it's a little bit of a vague answer, but we'll think on it. Okay, moving on to the next question.
I feel like just having literally pretty much just having both options, literally just having both options without even having to swap between them, right? You just basically either just hold back or something like that, or you just hold down the button, right? You just hold down the button, or you just hold back. Just literally both options would work. I feel like they don't even have to do any specific programming, any specific button format, or modern classic type stuff. They don't have to do anything like that. They can just literally have it both, just both.
What does real mean in the context of the new Virtua Fighter? Also, what do you think people are seeking from the new Virtua Fighter, and how does the team plan to push forward to meet those expectations? Can you give us a simple answer? It's basically what you just saw in the video. It's not something I can just respond in one word here. So the most important elements are included in that trailer, so you can see everything, and you can analyze everything that we've included in that trailer. I've got a question here. Which one should I go with? So with Virtua Fighter 2, it was like a whole social phenomenon. But people don't really remember that history anymore. But with a new project, are you trying to reclaim VF's leading position in the FGC? From that perspective, can you share your thoughts? For me, if anything, I want to go over the framework of fighting games, and that's something that's important for creating a social phenomenon. We want to go further beyond fighting games. At the end of the game, it is a fighting game. We have to take care of those really important gameplay elements. For us, we really want to overcome those limitations. That's my personal ambition. It's a little bit of a vague response. It sounds like you're thinking about things even beyond just fighting game, how to build a fighting game. But I think the most important part is that the game itself is fun, and that's something that we want people around the world to play and engage with. And that fun factor is the part that we want to continue showing off as we go forward. And I think we can really see that from the video that we've seen so far. Thanks so much for that response. It might have been a very difficult question to answer, but we appreciate that answer. Yeah, we want to communicate more on the Discord later on, but we're out of time on stage here, so let's just have a last message from everybody here. From Tokyo. So it's great to have all the information from you too. I think it's we've learned a lot more through this session. I'm just waiting for the game to go on sale. We're looking forward to it, so thanks so much. Okay, take this on.
Totally.
So we talked about the battle system today. But I've always been building Virtua Fighter, so we really want this to be something that can reach new players. But we also want it to be something that classic Virtua Fighter players can engage with and have fun with. So that's what we're aiming for and developing right now. So please stay tuned. Yamada-san? And we have the question from Kogi-san. And there are all these detailed battle system elements. What kind of thing are you trying to make right now? And users, I think we're not clear on that. We want to make something that's very challenging as a new Virtua Fighter. So this is going to connect up into the next reveal. But I've actually brought that with me. So how about we take a look at a new video? Can we cue that video?
Hold on, man. Hold on a sec. Slow this one down. New video user. wonder if they have like a story mode similar to the Yakuza games.
Got a little bit of a surprise video there. That's all we can show you for today, though.
Okay.
What do you think, Tokyo? Yeah, I need to see more from there.
I mean, totally.
For the next opportunity to show some new gameplay, I'll definitely show it off, but this is just a little tease for today. And that's it for the new Virtua Fighter project stage here at TGS. Yamada-san, Takeda-san, Tokyo-san, thank you so much for your stage presence today.
Something tells me that it's going to be sometime in 2027 before we finally get this game. Maybe.
And that's
Maybe.
the Virtua Fighter project, and now it's just a matter of learning more about the project as we go forward. So please stay tuned to all the information that Sega will be broadcasting. So let's keep having fun with everybody at the TGS stage today.
That seems to be it. I'm pretty sure. Yes, that's it. Well, I remember seeing, what was it? Let's back up to that thing here. I remember seeing, where's the way at there?
Hello.
Bro.
Hell.
Thank you. Okay. Anyway, hello. Let's see. Yeah, so this is basically what I was saying right here. I was reading this before I started this stream here. And, yeah, it doesn't really seem like they showed off, like, enough. But, I mean, I still have more questions, of course, right? I still have, like, a major question about the whole, like, guarding and then, like, new version of attacking thing, where it's just like, as I was saying earlier, you know, like hand-holding type stuff. I'm tired of hand-holding in video games, especially in fighting games. We're supposed to be about, like, competitive, one-on-one, skill-based stuff. It doesn't feel like skill-based anymore, man. With things like Tekken 8, Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 1, fucking Street Fighter 6. I mean, I feel like out of all those games I just mentioned there, I feel like Street Fighter 6 is probably the better one, like the better one that actually revolves around skill. But even with that, it still feels like a 50-50 guess correctly, right? I'm so interested in this game. It looks great. Interested to know why the character that everybody, I guess, knows as Sarah is apparently Stella, right? It seems to play exactly like Sarah, though, right? There's just some new elements that she has, but it seems like every string I saw is something that Sarah has. So I'm guessing it's either Stella over in Japan or it's, I don't know. It's all good. It's all good. But I see 3 people. Actually, there's only 2 people here because I'm also using my phone, so basically it's counting me as well. But I see 2 people here, so thanks for joining. I do appreciate that. If you wish to join me more, I'm going to be real soon, hopefully before 3 o'clock, probably around 3 o'clock today, which is just about less than an hour now. I'm going to be playing Resident Evil, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil Director's Cut, and 2. Today, Chris's story, and then Leon's story. And then tomorrow it's going to be Jill and Claire, and then Saturday is going to be Leon and Claire for Resident Evil 2, the second scenario for both of those characters. But yeah, it looks great, but I'm still a bit worried about the one thing. We'll jump in here real quick. I'll do this. Yeah, so we'll just watch this whole thing again here. Oh, not that one. We'll watch. Where's it at? Need to watch this, right? Back it up to the, yeah, here we go. To the one thing, right? To the, so there's this little guard thing they got going on, which is nice. And then there's this. So this type of stuff right here, that's what I'm kind of worried about. It just, I don't know, there's something about that that's kind of sound like hand-holding to me. For the player, and people don't need that shit, man. You don't need that shit because you don't learn if you basically just like handed the victory, you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't actually have to work towards the victory, right? If you just, you know, abuse the shit out of a rage art in a Tekken game because there's no counterplay to it except for block. If you just abuse your cameo system in Mortal Kombat 1 because, you know, like you can keep yourself safe, there's no risk, there's just only reward, right? And it's probably your turn as well, even after you use it, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like where is the thought process in these games? It's completely fucking gone, right? It's completely gone. And I'm just tired of it. I don't want to play it. I want to play something that's fun and something that actually requires effort and thought. And this game, it's looking great, but I'm just hoping that that right there just doesn't, it's not frustrating or annoying, right? But I feel that I'm probably not going to be able to play too much of these things as I was before because I was really trying to make the rank session a regular thing, but because of Tekken 8, just with Season 2 specifically, dude, it just got so bad for me that I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to do it anymore, so I would just play the new characters that come out, and I would try to get back to maybe doing some rank sessions. I wouldn't say regularly, but I mean more than I'm doing it now, which is not at all. But anyway, this is Psycho Order Last Valerian, wishing you the best. Thank you all for watching. Hope that you take care, hope that you have a good one, and I hope to see you in the next video. or stream. Peace.